Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hot Girls Done Hockey podcast. My name is Sarah. If you're new here, this is the show where we talk about all things hockey, the what you knows, the who to knows, and everything in between. And today's episode was voted on by you guys on my little poll that I put up on the Instagram page for the show, which if you don't follow it, it's at Hot Girls Learn Hockey. You should go follow it. That way you can vote on what topics I talk about. And there was a two-way tie for the two of the three suggestions. The three that I gave were the history of the PWHL / history of women's hockey. The second one was blind ranking, or not blind ranking, but ranking all the hockey games that I've been to so far. And then the third one was blind building my own Team USA with the hockey magnets that we all know and love. And the two that got the tied votes were the PWHL one and the ranking all the hockey games that I've been to. So I decided to do the ranking games for today's episode, just because I wanted to get more time to do extra research on the history of women's hockey and also just the PWHL as well. I wanted to give it a lot of my time and effort. So that will be next week's episode, and the week after that will be the blind building my Team USA a la the Winter Olympics coming up, because there's a bunch of projected lineups coming out, and I'm just I want to build my own. I might do a Team Canada one too. I don't know. I'll see how the Team USA one goes first. But so that's what we'll be doing today. I have gone to, surprisingly enough, at this point of me filming, 10 games exactly. Honestly, it feels like I've been to a lot more, but I watch hockey a lot. I stream it on my phone through the ESPN Plus app. So I think that's why I feel like I've been to more games that I actually have been to. But that was perfect, because then I could do a perfect 10-1. So I want to give a disclaimer before we get into this episode that I am so grateful and thankful that I have the capability to attend games for the team that is my favorite team. I recognize that that is a huge privilege that a lot of fans of the Sharks and just teams in general, if your favorite team is the Dallas Stars and you live in London, England, it's not going to be easy for you to be able to just travel to Texas every time you want to go see them play a game, or travel to the States so that you can watch them play a game, or Canada. I recognize just how lucky and how privileged I am to have this opportunity to be able to go see my favorite team play. And the ones at the top of the list that I'll start talking about, the top is as in 10 being the, not the worst, but just not the best. Not to say that I wasn't grateful to go to them. It's just I had very specific things, which I will mention in my reasoning for why I put them where I put them, that made them either super memorable or not so memorable. But again, incredibly grateful, incredibly blessed to be able to go see the Sharks play. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay, so I do not have my Sharks cup. She's in the dishwasher right now. But I do have a very interesting drink. It's a soda, but it's coffee flavored. It's very interesting. So yeah, if you want to grab a little drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, grab a little snack, and just sit back and listen to me talk about all the games I've been to. Cheers. Okay. So, like I mentioned, I'm doing this in a 10-1 format. 10 being not the best game, but a memorable one. And then 1 being my favorite game that I've gone to so far. So, let's start with number 10. So at number 10, I put the game that I went to on March 8th of this year. It was for the 2024-2025 season, and it was San Jose versus the New York Islanders. All of these are going to be San Jose games, San Jose versus insert team here, because obviously I'm gonna travel to Vegas to go see the Golden Knights play. So let's just start there. So this game I actually was given tickets to because last season I had a sales rep. This season I'm season ticket holder, so I have a different sales rep. But my sales rep from last season, he emailed about the NHL survey for that season. And if you fill out that survey, it's a really long survey, just about your experience with attending sports games and attending games at SAP and stuff like that, you can get free or complimentary tickets to they have like a pre-selected amount of games that you can choose from and like pre-selected seats that you can choose from. So those tickets were given to us complimentary, us being me, my boyfriend, and myself. It was the first game that I took him to, and traffic was just so bad getting to the arena. So we missed like the entirety of the first period, because again, traffic was awful. And then we went to go get food and stuff, and food took forever, for us to go get. And, then we couldn't find our seats because they were in this really weird part of SAP in section 128. If you know, they have really weird seats there. And we're trying to not be those people to like walk while they're playing. Because if you don't know, you have to wait until there's no active play to go to your seats. And like the ushers will stop you. And once the ref blows the whistle, then you kind of gotta like fucking zoom off to your seats. And it was just like very overstimulating. My boyfriend got very overstimulated. I got very overstimulated. I got really upset. I almost like cried because I was like, this is his first time experiencing something that brings me so much joy. And it's like about to cause us to have like a massive panic attack. And then we lost too, which also kind of sucked. So it wasn't the best game, but like memorable in the sense that it was the first one I took him to. So that's the game I have at number 10. At number 9, I have the season ending game for last season for the Sharks, which was them playing against Edmonton Oilers. And I was excited to see Connor McDavid play in person. That's the second game that I took my boyfriend to, so he was really excited to go see him too. So that was really exciting. And also it was a season-ending game, so I was just like, oh yay, like a nice like tip-off for the season. And what was also nice about it was the fact that this was shortly after Logan Couture announced that he was going to be retiring, and him and Joe Thornton were both in SAP, and they got a standing ovation because we all were given like giving our roses too, tipping our hats, clapping. It honestly brought a tear to my eye, if I'm being so for real with you. It was just very heartfelt, and I loved that. What I didn't love was how the Sharks were playing. It was the end of the season, and they obviously knew they were dead last in the in the Pacific Division. So they just kind of were playing like they did not give a shit, which I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think they wanted to go out with a bang, but it just didn't happen. So ended up with a shutout, I'm pretty sure, with Edmonton winning. And then they obviously went on to the finals, but then they lost to Florida. So memorable for a lot of fun reasons, but like not enough to take away the burn of just a loss to end your season on. So that's why it's at number 9. Number 8 is the game that I went to. Is actually my first ever solo game, as in like game I went to by myself, and it was the San Jose Sharks versus the Florida Panthers. So this is when I got to see Matthew Tkachuk play for the first time, which was amazing. He played phenomenally, but this is before Brad Marchand joined, so I didn't get to see him, and I still didn't get to see him this season either, because I ended up not going to when they played the Florida Panthers like last week. So yeah, whatever on that. It was only really memorable because, one, I was a like huge Tkachuk fan, so I wanted to see that man, and so I like just was so happy to be in the same vicinity as him. And then also my sales rep, I had told him that my birthday was in 2 days because my birthday's on January 27th. This game was on January 25th. And I was like sitting in my seat, and then all of a sudden I like get a tap on my shoulder from the girl next to me, and I look over and it's my sales rep, and he has like a goodie bag for me. And that's how I got, if you're watching this in the video version, you can, I don't know if you can kind of see it, but I have a like a puck that says happy birthday, and then that's where I got my hat from that had the signature from Macklin already on it. And then I went and I got Will's signature later on after the game. So that was super, super cool. He absolutely did not have to do that. So that's what was memorable about it. But other than that, like, again, we lost. I will preface all these games except for 2. There's only 2 games on here where I got to see the Sharks win in person. But it just wasn't like super, super memorable. Like, it was just kind of like a game of convenience for me because I already had to go, or not had to go, but I already had been asked to go to this game, or like to the SAP Center to talk to my sales rep about like becoming a season ticket holder. And I got the tickets complimentary, and then I just like bought a closer one. And also like nobody could come with me, so that's why I went by myself. So it was just kind of like, it was an alright game. It was an alright one. So that's by set number 8. Number 7 is a game, and I've prefaced this, I've seen San Jose play against Vegas twice. So number 7, I have my first time seeing them play against Vegas, and this was the second game that I went to where we, as in me and my friend Emily, sat behind the players bench, and it was like, it was an okay game. It was more memorable to me because that was the first time that I went to the loading dock to get stuff signed and like give Will my friend like a friendship bracelet back there. And also I got to see my friend Camille and her husband Leo because they're Vegas fans. So I was happy got to see her, happy got to meet Will Smith for the first time. I just handed him a bracelet. And I like freaked out afterwards. I was like, oh my gosh. But that was about it because again, we lost, and I don't know. I just like, I have very vivid memories of all these games and certain things that happened during it. And I have a bunch of fun videos that Emily and I took while we were sitting behind the players bench. But I like, for some reason, have blocked that game out of my memory, and I don't know why. But it was it was fun. It was a fun game, I'm assuming. I hope I had fun. But that was number 7. Now we're moving slowly down the list. The next one I have is the actually last game that I went to, which was Sharks versus Pittsburgh Penguins. Only redeeming quality about that game was the fact that it was my first time ever seeing Sidney Crosby in person. And he was the best part of that game for me because that game ended in a shutout with Pittsburgh winning. No one wanted to go with me, so I ended up having to go by myself, and I wasn't going to waste my ticket. And I got so pissed that I left the game early. And I feel like I don't have to explain further that that's why it's on number 6. The only reason why it's not like higher up, like close to 10 on that list, is literally just because of Sidney Crosby. That man is keeping my sanity alive. The entire night of that game, he was only the one keeping my insanity fucking alive. All right, let's go on to the next half, which is number 5, which I have as the season opener for this past season. The Sharks versus Vegas Golden Knights. That is the second time that I've seen Vegas play. It was great because it's the first season opening game, or at least like home season opening game that my boyfriend and I had gone to, or like I had gone to. So it was very nice, very interesting to see just like how packed it got. It was crazy. And it was a really, really, really intense game. It was a really good game to be able to see in person because we went to overtime with Vegas. And that was when that very infamous meme of the goalie leaving the fucking crease came from. And to see that in person was just not the best, but it's okay. But it was still a very memorable game, like, regardless. So that's why it's number 5. Next on the list, number 4, is when I went to go see the Sharks versus Chicago Blackhawks. I went to that with my aforementioned friend Emily, and we took our friend Cameron for the first time. Shout out to Cameron, love you. And that was her very first hockey game ever. She loved it. Also, just to give you guys more incentive to watch this version on YouTube, I'm going to be putting up like videos or pictures that I have from each of the games I'm talking about right next to me on the video version, so you can go and watch if you'd like. But yeah, so we went and took her, and we sat behind the goal, and it was so much fun. I loved seeing Connor Bedard and Frank Nazar. I love those men so much. I think that they're like the future of the Blackhawks, and it was such a good game, and it was the very first time I'd ever seen the Sharks win. It was incredible. It's the first time I ever saw Sharky like at a game that I went to, like skate onto the ice with a big flag that says Sharks win on it, and I'm like, yes, Sharky, fucking slay. And it was also the game where like Connor Bedard got that 10-minute or 12-minute penalty, and we still really don't know why. I just remember looking at him, and he said something to a ref, and then he like skated off to the bench. Will we ever know? I don't think so, but that was the game I had, number 4. Great vibes all around. Loved it. Okay, now we got to the top three games. All right, and number 3, I have the very first game that I ever went to, which was the Sharks versus Colorado Avalanche. Not this season, but last season. And that was the game I went to with my friend Emily, and it was same kind of thing. We like missed a good part of the first period because we couldn't figure out the parking situation, and then we couldn't figure out how to get to our seats. But we got there, and it was magical and memorable, and we loved it. And then we're like, okay, we need to do this again. Okay, we need to do this again. And that we did, because then we went to my number 2 game on my list, which was Sharks versus the Winnipeg Jets. And it was the first game that we went to where we sat behind the players bench, and I didn't even know that was a thing, that you could just sit literally right behind them. And it was crazy. It was crazy seeing them so like up close, like seeing them sweat. It was kind of gross, but like it was fun seeing like the line changes in real time, seeing like how they're like what they do behind the bench, like if they're looking at the little iPad, they're having their screen time, or I know that they're looking at fucking like the last play footage, okay, I'm just making a joke, or if they're just like adjusting their padding, or if they're getting new skates. It was just fascinating to see. It's kind of like being like behind the scenes of a play in a way. Do you know what I mean? You see the things that you don't normally see like on TV, or if you're sitting anywhere else. And it was very, very interesting and very cool to be literally like 2 feet away from Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini and Fabian Zetterlund and William Eklund and Tyler Toffoli. It was just awesome. I loved it. Okay, now number 1 on my list was last season when I saw the Sharks play Boston Bruins. And why was it number 1? Because it's the first game I ever went to with my dad. This is a game my dad had never seen the Bruins play. He had gone to an NHL game before. I think he saw LA play a team. I can't remember what he said. But this is his first time watching the Bruins play. And I got to take him to the game, and it was just so much fun, and just such a good bonding experience. Plus, I mean, it kind of helped that the Sharks won, so that just is like top of my list. I love my dad, and I love that we can share this hobby together of loving hockey, even though we have different teams. And I'm very excited because this upcoming weekend, which as I'm recording this will be the 23rd, which is on a Saturday. No, 23rd on a Sunday, when Sharks play Bruins here, I get to take my dad again. and I'm very, very excited for it. So yeah, that is all for today's episode. Thank you so much for voting, and don't forget to watch out for next week's. It will be the history of the PWHL and history of women's hockey in general. I'll kind of mush it all together, but I'll start with the history of women's hockey and kind of like smoothly transition to the PWHL. So look forward to that. Also, apologies if you're watching this on the video version. You probably saw the lighting change drastically. The sun just disappeared on me. And am I gonna fix it in post editing? Probably not. But you can just enjoy the slow like lighting just fading away, and then just the pinkness of my neon sign behind me just like getting more drastic. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please make sure to give the show a good rating. You can follow the show's Instagram page. Like I mentioned before, it's at Hot Girls Learn Hockey. It's where I post polls or any like updates if there's going to be delays in episodes or uploads or anything like that. You can also follow the show's TikTok page, which is at HGLH Pod. I'm going to try to be more active on there. I know I keep saying that, but like, I'm going to really try. Guys. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one.